Okay, so welcome to Tiny T Gaming. I am going to be going through Bellwright and just doing a run through where I try and beat my last effort at the game. I haven't completed it yet, but now that I got a good way through, liberated a few villages, I feel like I've got a good hang of it to actually give it a go. But it isn't easy. This is a long game, and I hope that if anyone watching this can take any pointers from it or not do the mistakes I've done. I always think that's best. I tended to watch loads of videos when I was first playing this, just because it is such a long game, and the crafting system is good in depth, but it is also hard. So for those who haven't played it, just starting off straight away with the going into Herndine, which is the first settlement you always spawn near. Then they don't let you settle inside the village, so you have to just settle outside the village, which is fine because the whole idea is you build your own, you recruit your own settlers or villagers, whatever, and you build your own settlement up from scratch while also allying yourself with these settlements, and then in time you can then muster militia and basically bolster your army with them. Now, this isn't a game where you have like thousands of followers, or even hundreds, but you can get to the point where you've got a good core of warriors that will follow you. It is good fun, but it is hard. So I'm just now going to basically pick up a point where I can settle. Now, the first thing you want to do is just be able to create an axe standard for every single survival crafting game there is. Create an axe, and then you want to build your own little hut or shack. And then from there, you have to be able to craft and collect resources. Now, the difference with this game, though, is that you don't want to be doing all of the foraging, farming, crafting. You want to be able to get to the point where the resource collection has been done by your settlers. So then this frees up your time to conduct quests, fight bandits, brigands, basically makes you effectively some sort of war leader where your followers enable your conquests. It's good fun. It's just long. I think I put 70 hours into the game and I haven't completed it, which I'm all for a challenge, so it's good fun. And if you do have the time, fortunate enough to have the time, then yeah, why not spend your time doing that instead of whatever else. But it is hard. It's a good direction though for survival crafting games, because having the ability to manage your settlement, your followers, turn them into some sort of militia or something at the same time. It's not a new concept, but I feel like Bellwright it's one of the games that have got it right. Whereas before, there's a lot of games, or a lot of early access games, that are still coming across very, very broken or janky. Bellwright's, while the combat is good enough, it's not as good as, say, Bannerlord for the directional attacks and defense, but it's good enough. Obviously, it's not as big a studio that made this game as made Bannerlord, and as those of you know who have played Bannerlord, that took like 10 years to play. So yeah, it just took ages. Good game, like really good game. I put so many hours into that, but it's just good to have something different to play, because after you finally grizzed through Bannerlord, you then I didn't really feel like doing it all again. I mean, I've done plenty of run-throughs, and some of the mods are good, but a lot of the mods are, again, just a bit clicky and don't always work and crash your computer. And I am playing this on a laptop, but it is a good MSI laptop, so there isn't really, in my opinion, an excuse for games to be crashing. Obviously, I know mods are different, but it's got good spec, and a lot of the mod developers do keep these mods up to date. So obviously, for those who haven't played it before, the map for Bellwright is quite big, with the settlements denoted as Padstow, Bradford, Herndon, etc. Then you've got the green bandit camps, which are the easiest, then the yellow, which are intermediate, then you've got 3 square red ones, and then 4 square red ones being the hardest. It's less about numbers, more about like quality of kit, but you do need some numbers as well. I mean, as you progress through, some of the bandit camps have a lot of fighters in them, and their archers just seem to cut your men down, or people down, I should say. Like the archery in this game is OP. Like, I don't know if that's realistic or not, but it will drop your followers quite easy, especially in the early game when they're all low tier. So I'm just stowing away the berries, the food I collected from the start, and then you get the coins. The coins are given to the village elders. They increase your relationship with the elders, and then that means you can do more with the village, so eventually liberate them and then get the militia. Obviously you can't just get the militia, you do have to pay for them, but it's quite cheap, especially when you get to that point in the game and you've got a lot of money, or more money than the 53 quid I've got now. You need renown as well. Renown allows you to recruit followers, and the followers you can afford at the start. They are poor quality. They usually come with no stats, so you have to level them up, but they've got a limit in their stats, so then they hit their ceiling, and then you have to recruit better ones, but they get more expensive. So every time you recruit someone, the next person will be more expensive, and then you have to outfit them and train them through reading books, and then take them on your little quests or raids, or when you get raided, because you'll have a lot of bandit patrols come through your area, especially on the settings I've got now. So I've got the raids and the bandit patrols set to max, just to give more of a challenge, but also if you can keep your people alive in the early game, it gives more loot and more experience, so it's a win-win. But as you'll see, they do come through a lot, and in this game you don't get killed, you get knocked out. So same as Bandit Lord respawn, it's exactly the same. You just respawn without the kit or the loot or whatever that was in your backpack or rucksack or whatever. But then you've got but then you keep what was in your hands, so like sword and shield or whatever, but they do take damage. So here I am, I've built my little hut, and now I'm building workbench. So this is so you can create just the basic tools and weapons at the start, and it is just a standard go out, get all the wood, come back. At the start as well, because all the buildings are low tier, when you build a house for your followers, you only little housing tents, whatever they're called, can only house 2 followers, so then you need a few of them. But as you progress, you then get a better house which houses 3, and then you can get an even larger house which houses 7. But yeah, so I'm just doing the basics right now, so building up the campfire. As you can see, I constantly forget to put the axe away, which is very frustrating at times, and then from there that's done, thankfully. You do get that, you'll forget you've got your axe out, and then start waving it around when you're meant to be like engaging with something, because the mouse button is the same for actions basically, so picking anything up, harvesting, etc. So yeah, but that's fine. So there I've got my own little housing tent, research desk, workbench, and then the campfire. Also gives you a choice of building a chest. Now, the chest is fine, but it's got such small storage capability that like you don't really need them. It's good for the start, and then as soon as you can get anything better, you do, and then you can just repurpose the resources to put to better use, because this game is heavy on the resources. It takes so much to build most things, especially when you get on, and obviously that is very realistic, isn't it? Like, but it is also a time consuming game. I mean, like I mentioned previously, when you want to upgrade your companions, your followers, they read a book. It can take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour of real time to upgrade like their strength stat one level up higher. Like, and that's so. Thank you very much for watching, and tune in for the next episode. If you like it, please like and subscribe on the bell button so it gets out there. Thank you.